So to the on-field, and this a lot of what's transpiring off the field is stitched into this. The Bulldogs came through the toughest circumstances demanded of a team yet. An empty stadium by decree of the government, a 7-day lock-up by insistence of health authorities, and the Bulldogs produced a truly magnificent performance, the equal of anything we've seen this season.
We didn't relent, we didn't let up. We kept at them right across the board. Everyone played critical roles.
There's no doubt about it. They are going to be one of the red-hot favourites. They bowled over one of the big contenders on their home deck in Perth today.
A lot of credit's going to go to the Bulldogs. The way they go about it. They shift with the ball, they use each other, and they work their backsides off. That was definitely obvious that we got outworked in the midfield and out-hunted.
It's not a statement game because each week there's a new challenge.
They got rewarded finally for all their efforts. Unfortunately, we got punished.
Bonampelli couldn't kick it from there, could he? He could not kick it from there.
Yeah, I mean, the boys had to put up with a bit this week and they held up tremendously well. That's a good win. We'll be happy to take home. That was great conviction for their players.
With the Bulldogs, it's not one person, it's several. It's the system. They use each other well, they share the ball, and they hunt.
Now, that was a win, Robbo. If you're going to go through all of that, it was then up to the players. How do you channel it? What do you do with it? Well, how about going out and playing like that? I could not have been more admiring of what they did.
It was a powerhouse performance at an opposition home ground where that team can put in powerhouse performances, and they went over there and they stomped on them, Gerard. They embarrassed the Eagles, and now we're all really excited about the Dogs and the capabilities and the possibilities of the Dogs. This probably might sound harsh, but they just go down to the Cats at Geelong, and it was a really good performance. They lost to Melbourne and they lost to Richmond.
Yep.
Right? There were a couple of bad halves in those games. So for the majority, they've been a really solid team. What we saw on the weekend was a team that demolished another so-called contender. Marcus Bontempelli, and we just saw some highlights there. There's so much to like. Barley Smith was back in form. People are questioning about him. Aaron Norton, I honestly think, Gerard, I know I said Harry McKay at one stage. I honestly think when I sit and watching these games, Aaron Norton could be the difference between them winning and losing the flag. Like, if he has a day out, he looks unstoppable in the air.
Yeah.
No one can go with him.
And then you quickly forecast what he's going to be like when he's 25 and 28 with those hands.
He's 21, mate.
I know.
And Marcus Bontempelli, it's a real cliche to say he's the best player in the comp. Right now, Marcus Bontempelli, and much for this year, has been the best performed player in the competition, and he's done that goal around the corner, running away from the goals, mate. There's not many players who can do that. There's not many players who can play midfield forward like Bontempelli does. So to be able to kick some of those freaky goals, he can still miss in front, but he's getting better at it. But right now, he is the most complete footballer in the competition, and he's inspiring as well. He just doesn't play well. Look at this. Look at that.
Yeah. Only the greats do that.
Absolutely, but he's doing that a lot more. He's, you know, I had him number one last year, right? And people got into me, and there's not a pat in the back for me, but he's got something special. And now what he's doing is that specialness is coming out a lot more often. Now he's like 25, 26, and he's running up against 21s and 22-year-olds. He's just got that aura about himself, within himself, saying, hang on, I can do a lot more. And he's doing it. He's fantastic to watch. And
a little bit more on Norton, I think, because his hands are just beautiful, the way that he's attacking and marking the ball. And it is, you're right, as for what it means this year, but for what it means over this stretch for the Dogs at 21 is, gosh, he's going to be a good forward over a long period of time, isn't he?
Oh, he's a good forward now. I know when players fly for the ball, Gerard, and this is everyone who's played the game, you see the ball, get ball, just go at it. Now, some people are hesitant to go up in a big pack. They might look to the left to see what's coming. If you look at this guy, when he goes to the ball, and this is why he knocked out Tim English, and he may get himself knocked out one day by not looking, but when he goes for the ball, his eyes do not move off that ball. And because he's got such courage with his spring, and he's got that spring, he jumps higher. He jumps quicker. And his hands stick. You talk about those beautiful hands, mate. And he's equal contested marks in the competition with Max Gawn. Max Gawn floats around the ground, and Max a gun. I'm not putting Max down. He's doing it inside 50, and Max doing it around the ground, but equal contested marks in the competition. What are they going to do? On the weekend, we saw Luke Darcy's son.
Yeah.
Right, who's probably going to end up at the Dogs. Now, they've got Jamara, the #1 draft pick from last year. 3 years ago, I checked this today, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, where are we? 2021, 2017. Their leading goal kickers, Mitch Wallace was the leading goal kicker last year.
Yeah.
There was Jake Stringer for a period. Liam Picken
Yes.
was the leading goal kicker. And now the Dogs have got Norton, Bruce, English floats down there, Jamara's in the VFL, and they may get young Darcy coming in. What a plethora of key forwards, mate.
That's the making of a sustained period at the Pointy. Just
amazing.
a quick word on the Eagles, because we've got Adam Simpson, so we can fully explore it there. They'd had 2 great weeks.
Yeah,
They took the B set to Carlton in Sydney and kept their season and put their season back on track, and then they ran down Richmond. And then they threw that in. They are a moving target, the Eagles, aren't they?
I think they're a tease, honestly. And I'm not here to create headlines. I think they're overrated. I really do. They want to play when they want to play. And this is another cliche in football. When it gets too hard, I think they've folded too many times this year, Gerard. And that's why that win, the comeback against Richmond, and the win before that we were just talking about, that was of substance. This performance, there was no substance. They got annihilated in the first quarter, annihilated in the second quarter, and playing hold-on football for the middle 2 quarters.
Yeah, the last quarter, where they ran totally out of gas.
Midfield slaughtered, mate.
Yeah.
Slaughtered.
Interesting.
So, yeah, real issues for the West Coast.